Mock, yeah. Ing, yeah. Bird, yeah. My name is Sherman, and this is Winging It. We're talking about the northern mockingbird. You know it. It is the king of mimicry. It has the ability to listen and reproduce bird songs of other bird species. Throughout the lifespan of an adult mockingbird, it can learn up to 200 bird songs, which is it's a fantastic opportunity for budding ornithologists to get a second layer of exposure to birds that might not live in their area. So I'll give you an example. In my neighborhood, no white-breasted nuthatches live in my neighborhood. But this morning I woke up to the sound of a white-breasted nuthatch because I have a mockingbird. And so the mockingbird will it'll stimulate the diversity of bird songs that you're going to hear in your area and give you practice to birds that otherwise you might have to travel to go and find. So mockingbirds belong to the family Mimidae. Their Latin name is Mimus polyglottus, which, if you know French, polyglot means bilingual. Kind of fun. They belong to the family Mimidae. So Mimidae also includes, you have your gray catbirds and your brown thrashers. And both these species also carry the capacity to mimic birds. But an important note is that not all birds that can mimic are implicitly part of the Mimidae family. So if you think of corvids, corvids include crows, ravens, blue jays, Canada jays. A lot of them can also mimic. Starlings are really well documented for their ability to mimic. But it's not because they're in the same family as a mockingbird, but it's an example of convergent evolution. So it's two independent families of birds that have over time, due to similar environmental conditions, have converged and they have developed similar character traits. In this case, that's mimicry. Really interesting. It's getting into the world of phylogenetics, which is connected to taxonomy, and it's just an awesome field of study. As far as physical identification tools you can use for mockingbirds, they have these very prominent wing patches here. And if you see a mockingbird flying, there is a 100% chance that you're going to see these wing patches. They're so vivid. And there's an interesting behavior attached to them, being that mockingbirds will, while they're foraging, so they're omnivores, right? So they'll eat seeds, but they mostly eat insects. And they'll forage on the ground. And while they're on the ground looking for insects, they'll flash their wings up like this. And so what they're doing is they're actually startling the birds that are, they're startling the bugs that are hidden in the weeds. And they fly up, and the mockingbird says, okay, dinner time, and they snatch a bunch and eat them. So it's really interesting. There's even, I read about, sometimes they'll use it for signaling. So there was a snake in some guy's backyard, and the mockingbird stood there flashing its wings a couple times, signaling to the other mockingbird, hey, we got a problem right here. So you can almost think of it like mockingbirds can flash their headlights in the same way. And so it's kind of just a way of, I don't have the ability to tell you exactly what's going on here, so I'm just going to give you a piece of static visual information. Boom, flash. Kind of interesting. Thomas Jefferson had 10 pet mockingbirds, and the only one that has any documentation for the name of it, there was one named Dick. We'll just sit with that for a couple seconds. My name is Sherman. This is Wingin' It.